Hi everyone, in this tutorial we're gonna go ahead and create another Android application. So just click on this start a new Android Studio project here, and here for the application name just type in here app 23 and then click on next, and here choose API 16 Android 4.1 Jelly Bean for minimum SDK, next, and here choose a blank activity, next, and then click on finish. Now let's actually select this hello world text view here and then press on delete key on your keyboard. Now double click on this res folder here, layout, activity underline main.xml, and then select this floating action button here and then press on delete key on your keyboard. Okay, so now let's actually go back inside this content underline main.xml, and here we want to actually design the user interface of our application. Okay, so now let's actually drag a linear layout vertical at the center of this relative layout here. Okay, and now let's actually find the scroll view here. Actually we need to drag a vertical scroll view into this linear layout here, vertical, as you can see here, and then we need to actually put in a linear layout vertical inside this scroll view here. As you know, the scroll view can only accept one direct child. Okay, so we actually put this linear layout vertical inside this scroll view here. Okay, and now let's actually drag a text view, a large text view, into this linear layout vertical here. Okay, and double click on this text view here, and for the text just type in here the name of the game is. So as you can see here, I just actually wrote here the name of the game is : okay, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. So now let's actually drag another large text view into this linear layout vertical here, and double click on this text view here and delete the text of this text view, and for the ID just type in here txt game name. Okay, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. Let's actually drag another large text view into this linear layout vertical here, and this time double click on this text view, and for the text just type in here the scores of the game are : okay, so as you can see here I wrote here the scores of the game are. Okay, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. So now let's actually drag another large text view into this linear layout vertical here, and double click on this text view here, delete the text of this text view, and for the ID just type in here txt game scores. Okay, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. So now let's actually drag another large text view into this linear layout vertical here. Okay, and then double click on this text view here. Okay, and for the text of this text view just type in here the lowest score of the game is : okay, so as you can see here I wrote here the lowest score of the game is : okay, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. And then let's actually drag another large text view into this linear layout vertical here, and double click on this text view here, deleted the text of this text view, and for the ID just type in here txt game lowest score. Okay, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. Now let's actually drag on another large text view into this linear layout vertical, double click on it, and for the text just type in here the highest score of the game is : okay, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. Let's actually drag another large text view into this linear layout vertical here, and double click on it and delete the text of this text view, and for the ID just type in here txt game highest score. Okay, score, and then press on enter key on your keyboard. Okay, so now let's actually drag another large text view into this linear layout vertical here, and double click on this text view here. Okay, and then just type in here the average value of the scores is : and then press on enter key on your keyboard. Now let's actually drag a large text view into this linear layout vertical here, and double click on it, delete the text of this text view, and for the ID just type in here txt game average, txt game average value of scores, okay? And then press on enter key on your keyboard. So now the design of our user interface is actually finished. Now let's actually go back inside this main activity.java file here, delete these lines of code that are actually related to the options menu here, okay? And then delete this block of code that is actually related to the floating action button. And now we can actually put in our own codes here, okay? So first of all, we need to actually create a Java class. So just click on File, New, and then click on Java class, okay? And for the class name, just type in here game, and then I'll click on OK here. So as you can see here, this is our game class, okay? And then we can actually put our own codes inside of this game class, okay? So now let's actually create two instance variables, okay? As you can see here, these are my two instance variables. And as you can see, the access modifier of these instance variables is actually private. And the type of this instance variable is string. And the name of this instance variable is actually game name, okay? And as you can see here, I didn't instantiate this instance variable here, okay? I just declared this instance variable. And here again, as you can see, the data type of this instance variable is integer. And here I just want to actually create a two-dimensional array, okay? So I just put in two pair of brackets here, as you can see here. And then the name of this instance variable is scores, okay? So as you can see here, again, I didn't instantiate this instance variable here, okay? Now let's actually create a constructor and then instantiate these instance variables inside of that constructor, okay? So as you can see here, this is my constructor, and the access modifier of my constructor is public. The name of my constructor is game. As you can see here, the name of the constructor must be the same as the name of the class name, okay? And this constructor actually accepts two arguments, okay? The first argument, as you can see here, the type of the first argument is string. The name of my first argument is game name. And again, the type of my second argument, as you can see, is integer, a two-dimensional array of integers, as you can see here. And the name of my argument, as you can see here, is scores. As you can see, this name is the same as the name of this instance variable, okay? So inside of this constructor, as you can see here, I actually instantiated these instance variables. So as you know, this keyword, as you can see here, is actually referring to an object that is actually created from this game class. For example, if we actually create an object from the game class inside of this main activity.java file, then this keyword here refers to that object, okay? And this game name actually refers to this game name instance variable, assignment operator, and here I am actually referring to this game name instance variable, as you can see, to this game name argument. As you can see, this game name is actually referring to this argument, and this game name is actually referring to this instance variable, okay? So because the name of this instance variable is the same as the name of this argument, here we actually needed to refer to this game name instance variable by preceding its name by this keyword, okay? So this dot game name actually refers to this instance variable, and this game name actually refers to this argument, okay? And here we are assigning this argument to this instance variable. Actually, we are instantiating this instance variable here. And here again, this is it's the same story. We are referring to this scores instance variable by preceding its name by this keyword. And here we are assigning this scores argument to this instance variable here, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. And now let's actually put in some lines of code here after the constructor here. So here, let's actually create a setter and a getter for this game name instance variable here, as you can see. So here, as you can see here, this is my set game name method, okay? This is a setter for this game name instance variable, and this method actually accepts an argument of type string. the name of this argument is game name, and here again I am actually assigning the value of this argument to this instance variable. Okay, this dot game name assignment operator game name. Okay, and now let's actually create a getter for this game name instance variable.